25 pairs of shoes, 11 categories. It's that time of year again. Welcome to the best running shoes 2022. Are you ready, James?
Yes!
Let's do this.
Right, the first category is speed.
Okay, and the nominations are the Hyperion Tempo from Brooks, the Mach 5 from Hoka, and the Zoom X Streak Fly from Nike.
Let's chat about it. Jess?
Yes, good shot.
So this is the Brooks Hyperion Tempo, and it is arguably one of my favourite shoes of all time. It's not my favourite shoe of the year, which you'll have to wait until the end of this to find out. But the thing I love about the shoe is the foam. It is a nitrogen-infused foam, which I just adore.
This first section is about speed. Why have we chosen speed? Because this doesn't have a carbon plate in it, does it?
No, so these three shoes are kind of made for your interval trainings, your 5Ks, your 10Ks, you know, getting out the door, running as fast as you can away from your feelings. Anything you want to do quickly, these are the shoes for it.
Yeah, speed does not have to mean a carbon plate. If you want something that isn't going to work too hard on your calves, then these are some great options. I have one question before we move on. How did you find the outsole? Because quite often in a speedy shoe, the longevity is reduced because they're trying to make it as light as possible.
They are great until you run over something sharp, and then you have to pick it out with pliers, because it is, especially...
Yeah, it's a bit foamy at the bottom.
Just when any shoe will go through, there's bits where they try to reduce weight by taking away some of the outer, and this bit is where it'll wear away the most.
Should we move on to the next one, which is the Mach 5 from Hoka? I always died there. I love these shoes personally from Hoka. I think this is a really great option. Fun fact, our videographer Freddie ran the Berlin Marathon in these shoes, so they are fast for both short and long distances as well. Also way more cushioned. If you look at the stack height, so the height of the shoe, these, compared to these, Hoka are known for their cushioning, and so their stack height is much higher.
I've run in the Mach 4s, so the last iteration of these, and I love them. Only issue I had was the wear, which apparently they're fixed on the Mach 5s.
Yeah, it does feel like the outsole is a little bit more rubbery, so on all of the bits that come out, you've got the foam, and then they've got kind of an outer coating. I found the wear on these were a lot better than previous versions, so they're great. Speaking of wear though, let's move on to the last ones, which are the Streak Fly. Now when these first came out, I didn't really see their place because the Vaporfly, which we'll talk about later on, is iconic. That is the fastest shoe when you think of Nike apart from the Alpha Fly. However, these are perfect. They even say it on the shoe for 5Ks and 10Ks, and it's the outsole. It's got a much better outsole than you find on the carbon plated shoes from Nike. So if you want something that's fast but longer wearing, this is a really good option.
Doesn't have enough cushioning for me, but they are super lightweight, and if you're a super quick, super speedy runner, this is probably the pick for you.
Yeah, they say it's all about traction. You're feeling close to the ground and you get a lot more movement out of it because it's got a lower stack height. So that means it's lighter than the Vaporfly as well. But there can only be one winner. So James, can you reveal?
It's the Mach 5s from Hoka.
Yeah, it's a great all-rounder shoe. It's not only a fast shoe, but it's a comfy everyday shoe, and you don't want to rip it off your feet the moment you stop running. So next up, we've got the category of best value for money. James, what are the nominees?
So we've got the On Cloud Neo, the Kalenji Jogflow 500.1, and the Kip Run KD900X.
Okay, starting off with these, which are the Jogflows.
They get battered as being a relatively ugly shoe. I love them, and they are £40. They are definitely a 5 and sort of 10K shoe. There's actually a lot of research that goes into these as well. They were looking at injury prevention and shock absorption, and this is the shoe they ended up with, and I really rate it. For the price, it is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I have to say, the amount of research and development that goes into this shoe, you are getting something that's really good. It's got a nice outsole as well, so you've got lots of grip there. It's going to be hard wearing, and for 40 quid, you're getting so much from one pair of trainers. Interesting though, from Decathlon, they also have the KD900X, which is a lot of money. Good catch.
I got it.
Is a lot of money compared to a £40 trainer. This retails at 135, I think. But compared to other carbon plated shoes on the market, this is the cheapest. So if you're looking at Decathlon and you want a fast carbon plated shoe, but you don't want to fork out over £200, then definitely consider these because they're pretty fast. We've done a video in them as well.
Yeah, I think they're quite beautiful as well. But what I don't think is particularly beautiful is the next shoe. Good segue.
Now, see, I quite like these, and I think this is an excellent concept. So these are from On, and it is a subscription shoe.
So yeah, they are £25 a month, and it kind of depends on how many miles you put in a month and whether or not they're affordable. So basically, if you run, you know, hundreds of miles a week, a month, then you really get your money's worth. If you're only running, you know, the odd 5K once a week, these probably aren't the budget shoe for you. But if you are getting through them, you just wear them out, send them back to On, and they send you a new pair.
I think it's interesting as well because forking out a lot of money, like £100 plus for a pair of shoes every few months, is a big hit on your wallet. Whereas £25 is still a reasonable amount of money, but if you want to pay smaller amounts for longer, this could be a great option. But there can only be one winner, so what have we chosen, James?
We have gone with the Kip Run.
Yeah, these are an excellent carbon plated shoe. The design is really nice. It competes with others on the market that are double the price, and you should definitely be considering these if you want a carbon plated shoe that doesn't weigh down your wallet.
And next up is Best Daily Trainer, and the nominees we have are the Adidas Ultra Boost 22s, the Saucony Triumph 20s, and the New Balance Fresh Foam X 1080 V12.
Starting off with, you two were not expecting that, these, which are the Ultra Boost 22s. Now, I think this wins for the most amount of colourways a shoe has ever had, but this is in the Best Daily Trainer category. This one is the cold ready version of this shoe, so it means it's a little bit splash proof, it's got better traction on the bottom, so it's perfect for winter, but this shoe comes in so many different shapes, sizes, colours. There was quite a dramatic update to this shoe a few years ago, mainly to the heel, but Adidas do still sell the kind of original Ultra Boost. So if you're looking at this and you picture something else as an Ultra Boost, don't worry, that does still exist. But it's just a really comfy, all-round, everyday trainer.
Even though this looks like it's quite a max foam, the foam is very lightweight.
It's also something that you could wear to work, out on a run, out to the pub. Very attractive shoe. Next up, speaking of attractive shoes, although I think I'm the only one that thinks this, I love this. This is the New Balance Fresh Foam 1080 V12. Now, there have been 12 iterations of this shoe, so what is not to like? I think they've got better and better with every single update. The stack height's changed a little bit through updates as well. It used to be quite a lot more dramatic, but I just think this is a really, really pretty shoe, although maybe not that winterproof in this colourway.
Yeah, it's definitely not winterproof, but there is a loyal fan base when it comes to this shoe that
100%.
buy it model in, model out, and I can kind of see why.
It's not the most lightweight compared to other ones in this category, but it looks like it's built to last, and that's what I've experienced too.
Yeah, here's a chunky boy. Speaking of chunky boys,
we got these.
Saucony Triumph 20s, which I'm pretty sure are very close to being illegal in terms of the stack height.
Yeah.
But you really feel it. It's a fast, impressive shoe that, again, has a really loyal fan base. It's 20th iteration and people love this shoe.
And quite a lot of people want a lot of max cushioning for a daily trainer as well. So if you know you want a lot of cushioning, then definitely consider something like this because you are getting that in bucketfuls.
Yeah, and kind of with all these shoes, they're daily trainers, but they can be used for anything and everything. This is why we kind of pick ones with a large amount of cushioning because you can put them through any miles you want to put them through.
What did we pick as the winner, James?
Saucony Triumph 20.
Yeah, this has got such a loyal fan base and this has been picked by so many people as the best shoe of 2022.
And I actually think this is the best colourway of any shoe we're going to be talking about today.
Really?
Yeah, controversial.
Although I have to say the bottom is very pretty.
Yeah.
So next up we have Best Support Shoe. James, what are the nominees?
So the nominees are the Saucony Tempest and the ASICS Gel Camo 29s.
Before we dive into the shoes though, let's just talk a little bit about what actually is a support shoe.
So a sport shoe is designed for people who overpronate, so they need an extra bit of foam for corrective measures. They're also people who have got sort of flexible arches or low arches, which you'll see on the shoes. There's a little bit of extra foam to keep you going.
Yeah, so if you're not sure whether you need a support shoe or not, then definitely head down to a specialist running store and they can perform a gait analysis on you, which will tell you whether you need corrective or supportive shoes. Let's get into the shoes though. First up, these ones are from Saucony.
Yeah, the Saucony Tempest, which you can kind of see already the added bits to give you the stability. There's not an aggressive extra bit of foam in this, which is what I really like with the shoe. It also looks great. The thing that I've kind of had in the past when it comes to stability shoes is they look like stability shoes, or orthopedic shoes.
Yeah, they haven't been the sexiest of shoes, but these I think are really nice and would compete with other daily trainers on the market. One thing that I really like is the attention to detail. Even though it is just all black on the top, you've got some bits which are shiny, you've got some matte bits, you've got the Saucony logo which has been stitched in. They've put a lot of attention to detail into this shoe. Onto another sport shoe, this time from ASICS. We have this one, which we've got in 2 colours. Almost missed that. This one is the Gel Camo 29. There have been 29 iterations of this shoe, so quite rightly, this is a fan favourite by lots of people, and you can see why. It's got a slightly lower stack height compared to the Saucony, so you're slightly lower to the ground, But that doesn't necessarily mean that's a bad thing. You might just have that as a preference. It's quite moldable, but it is firm around the arch. That's usually where you're going to find the most amount of support around your arch.
And again, it doesn't look like an orthopedic shoe.
No.
It's a fantastic shoe. Again, it's got the FF Blast Plus foam from ASICS, which is kind of running through most of their shoes at the moment, and it is fantastic. One thing I do really enjoy is the fact that it has light truss added in, which just makes me laugh from a Prime Minister point of view. Hopefully it'll last longer.
Brilliant. I mean, one thing that is going to help the shoe last is the outsole. Really nice amount of rubber there. One thing I will say about both of these shoes is they're a lot more weighty than shoes that we'll come onto a little bit later on. You're definitely not compromising on weight here. They are quite hefty, but they're very supportive. However, there can only be one winner. James, which one wins this?
It's the Saucony Tempest.
Yeah, excellent shoe, really nice design, and very, very supportive.
So we're getting into the hot topic of 2022. It's carbon plates.
It's carbon plates. 4 nominees for this category. We have the Feidian 3 Ultra from Li Ning. We have the KD900X from Kip Run. We then have the Nike Vaporfly Next Percent 2. And then finally, the Saucony Endorphin Pro 3. Let's start off with a new contender.
Jesus.
And it comes in a box, a very exciting box. These are shoes from Li Ning. You may never heard of this brand. It is noteworthy because these shoes, or an iteration of these shoes, came 3rd at the Berlin Marathon this year. Did you succeed?
I did.
So this is what's so cool. You get these shoes in a box. In the middle of the box is a little ball of the foam that makes up this shoe, which is so light. These shoes are basically not there, and really what this shoe does is take everything else that's good from the rest of the market and put it into one ultimate shoe.
But it has to win the award for the most unenvironmentally friendly box I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's not great. It's got a really nice sock upper. It's really, really stretchy. It is see-through though, so make sure you've got good socks on if you're wearing these. My only negative of these is I don't think the outsole is going to last very long, especially on anything that is not a very well-groomed pavement or concrete or a track.
Which is why for any kind of heavier runner, I tend to avoid carbon-plated shoes because they just don't last.
Yeah. I've got to say, having the ball in the box, I don't know if this comes with every pair of shoes, but look at how responsive that foam is.
Yeah, that is a really good bit of PR by somebody. But again, it's just not a very environmentally friendly box. But the shoe...
The shoe is great. Yeah. On to the next. Onto another carbon plate. Whoa! This time a little bit cheaper. So we've mentioned this one before, KD900X. This had to go in a carbon plated roundup just because of the price. It is over £100 cheaper than any other of the ones that we have here, or around £100 cheaper. Again, the wear, although it does have a much better outsole compared to the other ones, and one thing I love about carbon plated shoes is they always put a little peephole where you can see the carbon plates.
Yeah, but if you want to learn more about this, Andy did an amazing first look video. Go and watch that and learn more about this pretty incredible shoe. And now, you talk about carbon plates, you can't not talk about Nike.
No, these ones dominate the market. I am yet to turn up to a race or look at a race where these aren't the most worn shoes at the start line. They just work, they're great. They don't last that long, I would say, although some people I have seen getting over 1,000 miles in these shoes, but there are some great videos online of what does start to happen. I don't think you're going to get as fast a race in these after like 500 miles or 500 kilometers compared to at the start.
Yeah, I mean, similarly, like a lot of these shoes with a carbon plate, they will be at their best when you take them out of the box, and they will very quickly fall off a cliff when it comes to performance. Again, in terms of wear, there is no outer on the back of here. So for me, they would wear away quickly. They're also very narrow, which cannot be said for the next nominee. Which this colourway is definitely a Marmite. It's like a mermaid design. I'm not a massive fan of the look. I am a massive fan of the shoe though. This is a great carbon plated shoe. I would actually call it the every runner's carbon plated shoe. There's a lot of foam, it's wider, they've got a fair amount of grip, so it's gonna last longer. Yeah, it's just pretty ugly in my
I mean, some people might like it. What I think is epic about this shoe is if you compare it to all of the other ones, again, Saucony, very much known for their high stack height. However, it's not really that much heavier than any of the other shoes that we have here. And you can see how they've tried to cut weight out of the shoe. You've got big holes at the bottom. Even in the tongue, you've got holes in just to cut weight. Who wins?
Gotta be the Saucony. It is just like I said before, it's the every runner's carbon plated shoe. It's fantastic. You don't have to sacrifice speed when it comes to comfort, which cannot be said for some of the other shoes in this category.
It's definitely an underdog, but it's definitely worth considering.
Definitely.
Right, so next up we've got the best distance shoe. We've got 3 shoes in this category. First up, it's the Adizero Prime X from Adidas. Next, we have the On Cloud Monster. And then finally, we have the Hoka Carbon X3. James.
So when we're talking about distance, we're talking about anything from half marathon to ultra. The interesting fact about the Hoka's Carbon X3s is they attempted to do the 50K PB record in them.
Yeah, should we talk about them first?
Yeah, go on.
Just to confuse Jess.
She's
taking it out.
I love these shoes. I think they look like rhubarb and custard sweets, but the upper is complete one piece of material.
It's kind of like you see on a lot of football boots, where it is just the tongue is stitched into the rest of the shoe, so you haven't got an extra bit. So if you're someone that finds that your tongue on your shoe starts to rub on the outside of your foot and that's where you get blisters, this could be a great option.
It also has the Pro Fly X foam, which is just fantastic. I tried the first iteration of the shoe. I did actually love it. Having said I don't really like carbon plates, I think it's the foam is a lot harder. There's a lot less give in this foam, which is what really works for if you're a bit of a heavier step runner like I am.
It isn't going to be super, super hard wearing. You have got a really nice thick outsole, but it does wear away quite quickly.
So, illegal shoe. Illegal shoe warning.
What does an illegal shoe mean? Are the police on their way?
No. Come on, Sarah.
No?
So, what it means is it has more stack height than is legal. So, the legal stack height is 40 millimeters. This has 50. It basically means you've got a super amount of cushioning. So, again, this has got a carbon plate, which you need when you've got the amount of stack height. But it is a fantastic shoe if you want to go fast and long. Yeah,
and just to curb anyone's expectations, if you turn up to parkrun in a pair of these shoes, you're not going to get arrested. In fact, quite a lot of elites will be training in illegal shoes because their biggest benefit is going to be it's less pressure on your legs, so your recovery is going to be a lot quicker. So don't worry, you don't have to be fearful about buying a pair of these. They are totally fine to wear. You just couldn't wear them if you were in the Olympics or going for first place. And then finally, we have these, which are also monsters, although not illegal.
No, they're not illegal. They are stone hooverers. I love the look of these. They have really blown away the market expectation of what a shoe should look like.
Every single time they release an iteration of this shoe as well. So they released a triple black version for winter and they are nice. These ones look incredible as well though. I think if you see someone, I've seen quite a lot of people at the track wearing these shoes, and every single time you see someone wearing these shoes, you're like, yeah, I know exactly what they are, and they look pretty cool.
Yeah, these were meant to be new. I'm pretty sure Andy has nicked these for a run though. But while we're talking about fast runners, what comes in first place?
First place is the Hoka Carbon X3.
No, it's not, Sarah.
Is it not?
No.
Is it these?
These is what we're saying. While we're talking about first place.
These, the On Cloud Monsters, win the best distance category. These shoes are loved by many, worn by many as well. And if you're looking for something to do a half marathon or marathon in that's really going to go the distance, then the Cloud Monster is our best pick.
Swiss design, made sexy. Don't know why I said that.
Next up, we have the category for the best update.
And we've got just 2 nominees for these. We've got the ASICS Nova Blast 3 and the Mizuno Wave Rider 26.
Okay, let's start off with
We'll just do one shoe for this one then.
Well, let's start off with the ASICS actually. Nova Blast.
I love these shoes. Again, I ran in the first ones and loved them. A lot of people were a massive fan of the first one. Kind of went a little bit off the boil in the second one from a lot of people's reviews, but they have knocked it out of the park with these ones. They are lighter, the tongue has been really improved to improve the fit, and they are lighter, bouncier, and sexier.
So these are the second ones, right?
Yes.
And then
so
this has gone from 2 to 3.
Yeah. So there's a fairly comprehensive difference. When you look at it, there's a lot more stack height. But yeah, in terms of ride, it's a fantastic shoe. Great training shoe.
But should we talk about Mizuno? Okay, so this is the Wave Rider 26, which takes over from the Wave Rider 25. This is a shoe which I have done many a mile in. I ran Amsterdam Marathon in these and I did my whole training in them as well. It is built to last. And the updates that they've done for the 26, sometimes it's a bit scary with updates to shoes that they'll make it worse, but they absolutely have not. The outsole is still super hard wearing. The midsole is 2 millimeters thicker, so you've got a little bit more comfort through the midsole. Still got the same plate going through it. The inside and cushioning is still very similar as well, but I think they've just made it look that little bit nicer.
Yeah, definitely. And the thing that a lot of people think of when they think of plates, they think of Nike, but actually Mizuno were the originals. They use a plastic plate throughout most of theirs, and there you can see in this one. But yeah, they are fantastic updates. But when it comes to the winner of updates, it's got to be the Novablast 3s. They are just a fantastic shoe.
And I think the update has been so dramatic and they've just hit the nail on the head. They've made it even better.
Now we're moving on to the most controversial category of them all. Best looking shoe. It's been very, very hotly debated in our office.
Yes, please don't get too angry with us. It is just our opinion, but let us know if you disagree in the comments and which one's your favorite. So we have 3 shoes in this category. We have the Fast R Nitro Elite from Puma. We have the ASICS Novablast 3, and then we have the Adizero Prime X Sprung from Adidas, which we want to talk about first because we don't have the Prime X Sprung. You don't have any shoe, but this is the Prime X, and they also have a sprung version which is a little bit more expensive but beautiful in its design.
Yeah, so it's basically if Spider-Man made an upper for a shoe. It is a thin woven material and it is just beautiful. It has different density depending on where it is in the shoe, and the color of it is just, it's a stunning shoe. I've looked at it, touched it from afar. That sounds weird, but I definitely did. It is a fantastic shoe, and yeah, it's just beautiful.
So we had to give that one an honourable mention. But now on to ASICS. This one had to go in here just because the update to this colourway is so, so cool. Tom doesn't like it behind the camera, but like we say, this segment is subjective. However, me and James, when we were looking at all of the B-roll for all of these shoes, loved these.
Yeah, but Tom's favourite is coming up now.
Also in a very similar colorway though, like if you look at this and you were going to describe it in a word, you would say fire. And this colorway from Puma is called Fire Glow. So very, very similar.
Fire.
Yes, James.
Yeah.
Now, the interesting thing about this shoe is it has a decoupled heel. What that means is that the plate is exposed in the middle and the outsole doesn't go all the way across the back of the shoe. Very, very cool. Now, we had to pick a winner. James, who wins this section?
Tom made us choose this one. No, this is the one we chose. It is, I mean, it's just a stunning shoe. I mean, you can't not love the look of the shoe. It's weird, it's wonderful, it wins. Right, let's talk about the best all-rounder.
100%. So we have 3 shoes in this category. First up, we have the blip. We have 3 shoes in this category. The Brooks Glycerin 20. Then we have the ASICS Novablast 3. And then we have the Puma Velocity Nitro 2. Jess held them up in the wrong order. But let's start off with Brooks.
I am a massive, massive fan of this shoe. I ran my first marathon in the 15s and I'm now on the 20s.
Wow,
and
you're old.
Yes, I am old, thank you. Not as old as Andy. Guess how old I am in the comments. No, don't do that. But I love the Brooks shoes. I've worn every one of the iterations and they've never really gone wrong. They're a safe, reliable shoe. This is a whole new foam from Brooks that they brought out with a weird shoe called the Brooks Aurora BL, which is all about pushing the foam, and they've done a great job.
I like it. The
really
foam is really cool. The foam is like quite shiny as well, and this feels really, really plush and comfortable to run in. Really, really nice shoe.
Yeah, it's the nitrogen infused foam again, which I just love. And yeah, everything about the shoe is about comfort.
Let's move on to the next one. Now you might be wondering, how have we got a best daily trainer and a best all-rounder? Well, we've chosen these ones for this category to fit if you were only going to buy one shoe and wear it for every single thing. You can do that with the daily trainers as well, but that daily trainer is going to complement other shoes within the lineup of each brand as well. So that's why we have the differentiation.
And we're going to blast through these, pun intended, because we've covered them enough. But yeah, they will do every kind of run you want to do. And moving on to the next one, which is one of Sarah and I's favourite because we wore these when we ran to Paris.
Did we mention we've run to Paris? Still pretty cool.
Still pretty cool.
Yeah, and these were such a staple shoe, especially when we were doing a lot of mileage each day. We did around 10 to 16 miles a day for 4 days. 4 days. And this shoe was worn by all and loved by us all. Every single person in the team had a pair of these and they just felt like slippers on your feet, especially when your legs were tired and your feet were aching. These were just like a warm hug, and that's why it's a great all-rounder shoe. There are lots of different iterations of this shoe as well, so if you want one that's a little bit more wintry, they do have a splash-proof version.
Yeah, and the grip is fantastic. Really, yeah, Can't say enough good things about the shoe.
No, but who wins, James?
Well, I had quite a big say in the winner of this, and it is the Brooks Glycerin. See, I mispronounced it this time, and I'm still going to go with it. It is the Brooks Glycerin 20. It is just a fantastic shoe. Brooks done a great job with updating the shoe and not compromising on what made it great before, which is comfort for every kind of race you want to do. Yeah, I cannot sing the praises of this shoe enough. So now we're moving on to TLC's Shoe of the Year. Caveat this with these are our own personal choices, but we want to know, what is your favourite shoe? Let us know in the comments and let's get into them. I'm going to start with my favourite shoe of the year, which is the Mizuno Rebellion.
Oh, you've worn these?
Yeah, they've been well worn, but I love them. I got my half marathon PB in them and they are just fantastic. Fiberglass plate and the foam is incredible. It is really a start of a new chapter from Mizuno. You're going to see a lot of exciting shoes in 2023 from them, and I just think they are a beautiful, beautiful shoe.
Very cool, almost kind of comic book design on these as well. If you want to see a fresh pair, then these are the ones that I am about to start running in. What happened there?
I don't know.
One thing I will say about these shoes is that the soles are so, so grippy. These are definitely what I wanted on my feet when it was icy outside. But should we move on to my pick?
Yeah, go on then.
Well, I'm going to pick a shoe based on personal bests as well, because I think this shoe deserves a mention for getting me a 5K, 10K, half marathon and marathon PB this year.
I mean, if that's not a good enough reason to be picked as a favourite, I don't know what is.
I mean, it comes down to training as well, but this is just such a reliable shoe. I would say it is so comparable to the Mizuno Wave Rider 25 in that it's what you would draw if you were going to draw a shoe. It works, you put it on your feet, it's got a plate in it, but it's not so aggressive as most carbon plated shoes, and it just feels great. It didn't hurt after running a marathon, it also didn't hurt after running round a track for a 10K PB, and it is reliable, efficient, and very pretty as well.
So these are our favourite shoes, but we wanted to know what your favourite shoe of the year is. So we put it out on social media and we trawled through the hundreds of comments, and this is the winner.
Quick, pause the video right now and comment down below what you think the winner of your favourite shoe 2022 is. But the actual winner is
Brooks Glycerin 20.
Yeah, very cool shoe from Brooks that we were talking about before that Jess is going to run and try and find now whilst we talk about this shoe. It's the 20th iteration of this shoe, so obviously it is going to be a fan favourite, and the update to this shoe has been really, really well received with the new foam as well.
Yeah, I was honestly quite surprised. This was a close run thing with the Saucony Pro 3, but this one came out on top, which is showing that safe, reliable shoes are favourite in 2022.
So that was our picks for the best running shoes of 2022. Let us know down below in the comments what your favourite shoe of this year has been, but don't stop there. Now we've talked about shoes, let's talk about jackets. Go and watch this video where me and Andy ran through the best jackets of this year to keep you warm and dry in the winter.
Right, now going for a run. Which shoe shall we go in?
So many options.